Hi, everyone, and welcome to Say Slay Podcast. I am your host, Liz Calandra. I just wanted to make a little trailer episode that will talk a little bit about me so that y'all as listeners had a little bit of background information about me before listening to the episodes with all of my guests. I don't even know really where to start. I was raised in a town on Long Island called Floral Park, so I'm from New York. I lived there until I was 18, did all of my school there, so elementary, middle, high school, all there. And then when I was looking for colleges, I knew I wanted to do something in theater, but I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to go far away. Both my brothers were older than me, and they went far away for school, for college. And so I knew that was something that I kind of wanted to do too. It was just like a thing in my family. You went far away for school. So I moved to Oklahoma when I was 18 for school and went to Oklahoma State University. I just graduated from Oklahoma State in May with a degree in theater and a minor in dance. I loved my time at Oklahoma State. I made some of the best friends a girl could ask for, and I just loved it there, and I'm so thankful for my time at Oklahoma State. So while I was in school, my parents relocated to Arizona from New York, so that's where I'm currently living. I've been living here for about a month, and I'll live here for another couple months. I originally went to school because I wanted to do theater, as I said, but I wanted to be a theater performer. And throughout my time at school, that kind of changed. I ended up focusing in sound design and audio engineering. And that's honestly part of why I wanted to start a podcast. I think it'll bring me so much joy to just edit conversations with my friends. So I think it'll be super fun. In the fall, I'll be working at a boarding school in New Hampshire as their sound designer and audio engineer. I also currently write a blog for a website called Sound Girls, which was created to advocate for women sound designers and audio engineers, since it is a male-dominated industry. And if you want to check that out, there's a link to it on my website and also on my personal Instagram. So go ahead and check that out. So why did I decide to start a podcast, and kind of like why right now? I decided for a lot of reasons. I love to talk, as you can probably already tell. I love talking. I think conversation is the best way to connect in this world. Even me and my best friend, who is the first guest on this podcast, her and I talk on the phone or send each other voice memos more than we text. We just love talking. And I would rather have a conversation with someone face to face or on the phone or on FaceTime or through audio messages than texting, emailing, Instagram, Snapchat, any of that. I love talking to people, and maybe that is why I wanted to go into theater, because I love talking so much, but I think talking to people is just the best. I also love editing. Obviously, audio, I love editing, so this isn't really like a chore for me in terms of editing. I think it's going to bring me so much joy to just get to set aside time every day to just get to sit down and edit, because editing is one of my favorite parts of my job in general as an audio engineer, so getting to do that even more now makes me excited. I also just feel like in my life, since now I've lived in New York, Oklahoma, and Arizona, and I'm soon moving to New Hampshire, I've had a really great opportunity to meet so many different people from so many walks of life, and so many people who do so many different things. Yes, obviously, a lot of the people I know do theater. So the first few people we'll have on the podcast do a lot of theater, but they're all from different locations. And then also, as we continue to move forward in the podcast and I bring more guests on, some of my friends literally have only been associated with theater if they're coming to see one of my shows. And so I really feel like I've been so blessed in my life to meet so many different people from so many walks of life who do so many different things. And I think it would be cool to kind of just have everyone on the podcast and see what they have to say in conversations with me. And a lot of these people, the only thing they have in common is that they know me. So I think it'll be really cool to just kind of, even just for myself, see the different people that I know in my life. And so yeah, we'll have them on and we'll see. So kind of what the podcast will look like is each episode I'll have a new guest. That's not to say some of our favorite guests won't be returning. I'm sure some of my closer friends that I talk to all the time will come on a little bit more frequently, but for now it will be a new guest every episode. Episodes will drop every week on Fridays. Most of the questions I ask them will be the same every episode. However, a couple will be geared towards things I know about that specific individual person. So if I know they're more of a performer in theater, I will ask them more about performing. If I know they don't do anything related to theater, we're not going to talk as much about theater, obviously. To talk about the name of the podcast a little bit, if you do know me, you know I say slay a lot. I say slay all the time. It started because my mentor would say it all the time, and I kind of picked it up over the year I worked with her. I thought it would fade by now, if I'm being completely honest, because I'm not around her as much, but I still slay all the time, and my family makes fun of me for it. My friends make fun of me for it. I think it has just become a word I use to bring humor and light to a conversation, or simply because I don't know what else to say. I use it as a defense mechanism a lot, and if there's like awkward silence, I'll just be like, slay, and stuff like that. I just really use it anytime I can. Because of this, each guest will be asked if they say slay, or if slay is a word they would consider in their vocabulary. If they say no, or even if they just say kind of, I'll ask them what their version of slay is. So what's a word for them that they use when there's an awkward silence, or what's a word that they just default to, almost. Now, they can take the question and answer it however they want. They can tell me a single word that they use more than anything else, a phrase they say more than anything else, and then we'll find out where they picked up that word or phrase from. So does someone in their life use the word or phrase all the time? Is it from their favorite movie or TV show? Or is it just completely random and they just started saying it and haven't stopped? So honestly, my goal for this podcast is just to talk to people in my life. Some I know really well, and some maybe I haven't talked to in a while, and some maybe I haven't even met yet, but I will meet and I'll bring them on the podcast. So that's it, really. I'm going to record myself having conversations with people in my life, and we'll find out how many of them say slay. So thanks for listening to this little trailer episode. My first full-length episode will be dropping Friday, June 16th with guest Catherine Wardell. So make sure you tune in and listen. Give us a follow at say_slay_podcast on Instagram. All of my updates are up there with when episodes will be posting, new guests, things like that. And I will talk to you in the next episode of Say Slay. Bye for now. Thank you.